Welcome to Bag Life Media once again. This is episode 3 of Fuck Hip Hop. I want to get into originality, being a trendsetter. You know what I mean? Like when you get into this genre of music, this culture, um, you want to leave your fingerprint. You want to be known for what you do, right? So you try to come with something that will be acceptable, but at the same time, it's different. You know what I mean? Like you're bringing something to the table that hasn't been done before. Now, I mean, you can have people that you like, you can have people that you study because, you gotta study the elements. You have to study the great ones. You have to know what made them great, right? So, your skill level is everything. And then you have to know when to apply your skill level to the public. Now, when you get into like fashion and being a trendsetter, whether it's clothes, jewelry, vocabulary, slang, you know what I mean? These are the things that help separate you. Like, even though everybody might wear jewelry, right? Like, that's common, but that's part of the culture. But what type or kind of jewelry are you wearing? How does your jewelry make a statement? You know what I mean? And how does it stand out amongst the rest? Same as your style with your vocabulary, your freestyle even. How does it stand out above the rest? Originality is everything. And first and foremost, you have to love what you do. That means you're going to do this for free or fee, right? I mean, think about it. You're not going to be home and get inspired, write something, you know what I'm saying? And then be like, oh, wait a minute, I ain't getting paid for this, so I ain't going to do it. Nah, like, do you know what I'm saying? Enjoy it. But at some point, your skill level can become profitable. It becomes an expensive hobby because you invested in yourself, because you feel as though you have something that can benefit and is marketable, right? Where you could say that the world is accepting what you're bringing. So when you have that confidence, right, you're not one of those type of people that's taken away from the culture itself. You're adding on. You're not copy and pasting. And there's pride. Pride comes along with that. Like, look what I did. You know what I mean? So the great ones always stand out. You know what I mean? Like, they brought something that was unlike everybody else, but it was still in the rules and guidelines of the culture. You feel me? Like, hip hop, it has this thing where it encompasses all things. So You can't, or you shouldn't, you shouldn't focus on one particular element of life. Even if you have to create a universe and bring people to that universe, right? There's nothing wrong with imagination because imagination shapes the world. You have to be original, right? If you want longevity. Now, let's get into oversaturation. How it's the death of a culture, and it can kill the expansion of a culture. So when you have so many people doing something, right, and it just seems easy, it loses its value. The more of it, right, if it's not controlled, it's going to lose its value. So if you don't have people bringing value, then it helps deteriorate the value of the culture, of the art form, right? I stress standard because it literally helps weed out and separates the good from the bad. But the thing is, you can't have no feelings on this because once again, it's a sport. There's no feelings on a basketball court, supposedly. You know, it's not supposed to be taken personal. So with this culture, it has to be the same thing. You can only do better when you face adversity. You can only become stronger when you accept your challenge. And your challenge is being able to accept and take criticism. Everybody's not going to like what you do. And sometimes you can be selfish as an artist and say, I did that shit for me and my people. So if they don't, like the other people outside of the particular circle, if they don't get it, it doesn't matter, it's okay. Because it wasn't meant necessarily, but you still, put it out there and exposed it on some love shit. So that's how you separate, and that gives balance. Separation gives balance, good, bad. You weigh it because you're able to use that as a marker for yourself, and you can say, alright, they wasn't feeling that shit, maybe they'll feel this, or maybe my flow could be better, or maybe I could produce a vocabulary that they're unaware of, and possibly they might even use it as slang in the hip-hop dictionary or something. You feel me? Like, you want to do something and leave your fingerprint. You want to be original. Oversaturation, once again, just shows a lack of imagination. If you can mimic somebody's flow, talk about the same shit with slightly the same beats per minute, and so forth and so on, then it becomes a blueprint for copy and paste music, but once that trend once again dies off, you're not gonna get any benefit out of it. You just did it then. So, that's the difference between making classic shit and, just getting high and making songs. I mean, and don't get me wrong, everybody has the right to do what they want to do and how they want to do it, for real. But, once again, you can't say you're doing hip hop and you don't give back. Plant this seed, like I said, man. You know what I mean? Oversaturation will be the death of this music that we love so much. We should not accept copy and paste artists. You know what's real. You know what the nigga just trying to do, you know what I mean? Like, well, I gotta do this one for the ladies and I gotta do this one for the club. Like, no, like, fuck that. Like, just do music. And if it crosses over, people accept it, shit, you know what I mean? It is what it is. And the reward is they all playing that shit in the club. You didn't make it with the intention to do that. It just so happened that it crossed over into that, into that area, you know what I mean? Into that dimension. So, people do this music, just in my opinion, a lot of people do this music out of desperation. How is it that every motherfucker got a record label? I'm not knocking it, I'm just saying. It doesn't, especially when you try to do this music and you don't have integrity. You know what I mean? You just have to understand that you're a brand. No matter if you have a clothing line or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Like, you're a brand. So, being a brand, whatever comes out of your mouth expresses what your brand is about. You can either make your brand universal, or you can keep your brand, whatever you want to do with it, because it's your brand. But when we do what we love and bring in originality to the culture, we get the benefits. Like, you don't necessarily come into this art just to make money, and it's sad that a lot of people do, but I know there's a lot of money to be made, but you still have to love it, honor it, you know what I'm saying? And you have to work on your ability. Learn the business as well. Don't just be an artist, because we learned that the longer that they keep artists in an artist frame of mind, your money isn't adding up correctly. So you would need to know, how much money you would acquire from a certain amount of streams or clicks from like YouTube or something. But, not to go off topic, I'm just saying those things that, you need to know that shit. But oversaturation, once again, is the death of a culture. You have to be a trendsetter if you really want to make this work for you. Don't rush into it, you know what I mean? Like, perfect your craft. Get your look together. You know what I mean? Practice your style. You know, what separates you from everybody else also is what you talk about. I mean, okay, we know that it's fucked up in the hood or the world is fucked up on, a whole lot of levels. And everybody talks about, you know, we all talk about the same thing, but it's just how you metaphorically do it, or how well your imagination can put that shit together and express it like no other person has done. Like you could be like, oh yeah, I like the way he did that. He was talking about that certain topic. I wanted to address that as well, but I'm gonna do it like this. You see what I'm saying now? So, you know, at one point in hip hop, if I want to listen to something, like street, what I mean, real hood, real grimy, I could listen to Cool G rap, right? And if I want to be militant, you know what I'm saying, or hear militant music, dealing with treatment as far as for being black is concerned and what real black history is, I could go get Public Enemy. Also, if I want to hear like just lyrics, you know what I'm saying, or some real freestyle shit or something like that or whatever, you know what I mean, and some concepts or some stories or whatever, I could go to like De La Soul, you feel me, or anybody from the Flavor Unit at that time, you know what I mean. But I'm just trying to show y'all the diversity. Like the people that I named, they all did hip hop and still do, but they brought what they had to bring. De La Soul wasn't trying to do what Cool G rap was doing, and vice versa. So why do we find it necessary to do what we see everybody else is doing? It's desperation. Shit, if I do that, I can get on. They getting that many motherfucking views on YouTube. Shit, me too, watch this. So it's the hunt, you know what I mean, to find that one song that's gonna change your life. But there's a lot of things that play into that. So, oversaturation, once again, and I can't stress this enough, will kill, the meaning and the value of our music. We not saying, there's no place for certain type of categories per se, just as long as they fall in line with the guidelines, right? But you have to understand that when you don't put yourself against people that are better than you, and you only surround yourself with people that will tell you, yeah, you dope, just for the sake of they see that they can get a piece of what you're doing, because you could be somebody's meal ticket as well and don't even understand what's going on. You gotta have a circle of real, genuine people. Seriously, real, genuine people. So they're not gonna let you do anything, you know what I mean, like sounds bad or misrepresent you and what you stand for. So it's good to have just that, real, true friendship and family, you know what I mean, by your side when you're an artist. You have people that will say, yeah, that shit's dope. Meanwhile, you like, don't nobody like that shit or whatever. And, you know, the response from the people that told you was dope, they'll say, oh, they just hate. You feel me? Like everything ain't just hate. You know what I mean? Stop that. Like, I hate that shit. Like, just because somebody not feeling you and what you're doing doesn't mean that somebody's hating on you. You know what I mean? Like, everything just not for everybody. You know, truth hurts, but if you want everybody to feel what you're doing, then study, you know what I'm saying? See what people like, and how can you make what you do more likable and more manageable to digest. You know, I don't want to try to keep people out of hip hop, because the more people we have, you know, it's great, but everybody can't be the same. You know, it's cool to be the same in your clique. You know, all y'all got the same style, but still, you have to bring originality even in that form. Look with EPMD with the Hit Squad. Look at Wu-Tang. You know what I mean? Capone and Noriega, Desert Storm. You know, it's just various forms of hip hop that can be explored, and also there's room for new things to explore. I'm just saying. But that comes along with understanding the culture, right? So what is style? Style is you and how you know, present what you have to bring to the table, verbally, physically, you know what I'm saying, materially. How do you know what I'm saying, express yourself with inside the four elements? You know, what have you basically contributed so far since you've been in the culture? How do you really support it, right? See, this is what determines the great ones. You don't bite the hand that feeds you, right? Remember, rap is something you do. Hip hop is something you live. So originality, it counts, man. Originality is everything. There's a rule, you know what I mean? As a rule, you don't bite nobody's shit. Don't bite style. Like, that's an insult. Like, yo, if you can't be original, then you can't be a player. You can be a spectator, and you know, while you're a spectator, work on your craft, work on your art. You know what I mean? Come back. Niggas would be like, what's good? You be like, yeah, you show your style or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And if it's acceptable, then you'll know. If it's not, niggas would be like, yo, the door is that. Alright, so, yeah. I'm not gonna make it seem like, once again, like I know everything about hip hop and all that. I just know the rules, you know, and I study it, and I read a lot, and you know, this is just what I do. I was born into it, physically and mentally. I was raised up in the game by a DJ Frank Cola. So, you know, just growing up inside of the culture, you get to see a lot of shit, you know what I mean, that regular citizens are not exposed to. You know, so when you see these battles, they be epic, you know, on the low. I mean, now, you know, niggas are recording them and everything like that, and they still ill. But that's a part of the culture that got exposed, and it needed to be seen, excuse me, right? It needed to be seen. That's how you know who you are. That's what separates you. The streets, the ciphers, that's where you get approved at. If you can't handle that shit, then yo, you not an MC. You just a rapper. You know what I mean? So that's what separates, you know, the fake from the real. You gotta write your own shit, and you have to be able to freestyle. A freestyle is nothing, you know, uncommon to an MC. You feel me? A rhyme, a song, is nothing but a freestyle written down. You just took time to really connect the lines, connect the dots to make all of it make sense. But what makes your freestyle superior is that it sounds like you wrote that motherfucker. You can do that, true MC. You're a true MC. You feel me? So, once again, originality. That freestyle, that separates you, right? The way you take your time to write your shit down, that separates you, right? You and your pen creates universes, right? You bring people into your world. You expose things, right? In your self-style and wisdom. So remember, oversaturation is the death of a culture and kills expansion. Be a trendsetter. Your clothes speak for itself. You know what I mean? All the way down to how you rock your shoestrings. That's a statement. Your jewelry says something without words. You see it, you be like, oh wow, right? Your vocabulary and how you express yourself sets you in a different zone from most people. And slang, right? How you might express whatever in whatever tongue or language that you create, because you can do that, right? That's the power of hip-hop. We can create words, right? So being as though hip-hop is a universe that you can create and bring things to the world that hasn't been done before, you know, that's a beautiful thing. So you must be a trendsetter, not the people that follow the trends. See, you're not in it as a regular citizen, right? So you have to be a trendsetter. Set the trend. Be original. So on that note, let me know how you feel about episode 3 of Fuck Hip Hop, right? Leave a brief description at the bottom of how you feel. You know, I could also, you know what I'm saying, like maybe added something else, or I might not have elaborated enough, you know what I mean, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Just leave how you feel, you know, like it, share it, or whatever. Alright, y'all. Episode 4 coming. Peace. damn shit.